Yo, what's going on everyone? In today's video, I will teach you the absolute best way to be leveling up this week in GTA 5 Online to gain yourself hundreds of thousands of RP per hour. So getting straight into this guide, we are going to be taking advantage of the 4 times money and also 4 times RP open wheel races that Rockstar gave us for this week. And trust me, I'm not just making this video for no reason. The amount of RP and money you make from these is absolutely insane after I show you the best way to do them. Anyway, to start these open wheel races, all you want to do is open up the pause menu, go over to where it says online, click jobs, play job, Rockstar created, and then races. From here, scroll all the way down until you see the open wheel races, and as I said, literally all of these races are going to be paying 4 times money and also 4 times RP, so you can start whichever one of these you want to. Once in the race, as far as the settings go, you want to make sure you set the race type either set to standard or non-contact depending on which one you prefer, and then after, go down to where it says number of laps and make sure it is at least 10 laps. And if you want to make the best money and RP from these races, then make sure you set the number of laps set to 15. You could also set it to 25 laps, but personally I think that is too much. 15 laps is the perfect amount of laps. If you have any one of the F1 vehicles as a custom vehicle already that you own, then I recommend having the custom vehicles turned on. But if you personally don't own any F1 vehicle whatsoever, then of course turn the custom vehicles off. But yeah, these are the exact settings you want to use for every one of the F1 races that you do in today's video. Of course, sometimes you might not be able to do the settings because other people will sometimes be the host. So now let's get into everything you need to know about these open wheel races and also how to make the most possible money and RP from them. Because when it actually comes to playing these F1 races, they are really fun and all, but when it comes to making the RP and money, you do need to place really high in a position during these races, which of course you do need to be a really good racer to do that. Because I'd say only the top 4 positions in all of these open wheel races are going to be making the most possible money and RP that is worth it from doing them. Every position under 4th place, you'll see the money and RP is honestly not worth it compared to how long we are spending doing these races. So if you aren't coming in those top 4 positions, honestly, this RP method might not be for you. But luckily, even if you aren't coming in those top 4 positions, I do have a lot of tips and tricks to show you right now that hopefully will help you come in those top 4 positions after you watch this video. My first tip is definitely going to be to try to avoid all of the wrecks at the very start of each one of these open wheel races. You'll notice that during a lot of these open wheel races that you'll do, a lot of times during the start, there will be a huge wreck. So be careful during the start and make sure you avoid all of those wrecks. That way you don't waste time at the start. Because the start is honestly the best time for you to come in a high position and maintain that high position for the entire race, but you do of course need to lock that in at the very beginning during the first lap. So if you ever do see a wreck, all you want to do is slow down and go around it, because most of the time there will be some people behind you, and if they don't see that wreck like you did and don't slow down, they'll end up crashing into that wreck and making it even worse. But the main reason you don't want to ever get into a car wreck during these open wheel races is because the health of your vehicle will go down super fast every time you get into a car wreck. Because normally the only damage that you should ever see to your vehicle's health right next to the minimap is going to be the tires, and that should only be around your 4th or 6th lap. So it is really important to make sure that during your 4th or 5th lap that you switch your tires. As you can see, to know that your tires' health are all the way completely down, you'll see the color of them are going to be a dark orange. So once the color of your wheels are dark orange, you want to immediately make sure you do a pit stop, that way your tires do not pop. To do these pit stops the best way possible, once you arrive here at the pit stop, you want to immediately stop your vehicle completely. That way your vehicle's health can be replenished. Once it is replenished completely, you can then take off and go back over to the racetrack. But the amount of laps that your tires are going to last are completely random. It really depends on how hard you are using them and also the length of the track that you are playing on. If the laps are really short like the race I'm in right now, then usually these tires should be lasting around 5 to 6 laps at the very most. On the other hand, if you are driving a little bit harder or if the laps are just a little bit longer, then usually those tires will only last around 4 to 5 laps, not over 5 laps though. And the last thing you want to do is risk your tires popping, so whenever you see them orange, immediately go to do a pit stop, because the last thing you want is them being dark orange, you thinking that they are still not going to pop, and then they end up popping, and then you are just going to completely drop in position super fast during these races. Whenever you do your first pit stop though, you want to immediately take a look at the amount of laps that you are doing in this race. As I said, most of the time you'll do your pit stop around the 5th or 6th lap, and if you are doing 10 laps, that means you only need to ever do one pit stop during the entire race. On the other hand though, like I said, sometimes you will be in races where there are 15 laps, and in those cases you will need to do 2 pit stops. So one on your 5th or 6th lap, and then once again on your 12th or 13th lap. But other than that though, those are all of the main tips you need to know when doing these open wheel races. Of course, another really crucial tip is just something that is pretty common sense. That is to take advantage of all of the slipstreams that you can when people are in front of you during these races. I'm pretty sure everyone watching knows what slipstream is, but in case you don't know, basically whenever you see those white lines in front of a car in front of you and you are completely parallel to those lines, you'll get a slipstream boost and go faster than that person in front of you. So pretty much just do that as much as possible, but also be very careful because you don't want to catch a slipstream during a corner, because sometimes during a corner those slipstreams could mess you up and make you go off track. I did forget to mention, but the best vehicle to be using during these open wheel races is definitely going to be the Benefactor BR8, and once you choose that vehicle, you want to make sure that the tires are the medium tires. Because the BR8 is the fastest F1 vehicle out of all of these choices, and with the medium tires, that will give you better turning and also better handling during all of these races. And if you wanted to buy one of these F1 vehicles to use your custom version during these races, you could also buy them, and I would recommend buying them actually, since this week all of the F1 vehicles are going to be on a 30% off discount. So you could buy whichever one of these F1 vehicles in my opinion, and you'll come in a high position for sure, because of course it is a custom vehicle, but personally I would recommend only buying the BR8. As I said though, it is not guaranteed that you can use custom vehicles during all of these races. It completely depends on what the host set it to. Anyway though, cutting straight to the good stuff, let's go over how much money and RP you'll make from these races once you finish them. Of course, I got first place in this first one. I was only in it for just under 8 minutes, and take a look, I got paid $104,000, but take a look, more importantly, the RP, 22,000 RP, guys. Which, yes, I know 22,000 RP in 7 minutes is absolutely mad, and $100,000 is also not bad on top of that. You could see though, here's how much money everyone made in the race. As I said, literally only the top 4 positions made the best money and RP from the races. All of the people under 4th place really didn't make that much money and RP. And you'll make this money each and every time. You can see I got first place once again. I was in this race for 8 minutes this time, and I got paid $206,000 this time, but even more insane, I got 40,000 RP from this race. So yeah, you'll literally get paid this money and RP every single time as long as you are in a busy race lobby. Yes, that's right. If you want to make over $100,000 and over 20,000 RP, all you have to do is make sure that you are in a race with over 10 people in it. And don't even worry about loading into a busy lobby during these open wheel races, because pretty much everyone playing GTA 5 online this week are doing these races, so you'll pretty much load into a busy lobby every single time. At least that was my case on PlayStation 5. Pretty much every time I loaded into one of these open wheel races, I was in a really busy lobby. But even if you don't get that many people, I still would recommend doing these, because even with under 10 people and just over 5 people, you'll still make a lot of money and RP, but it definitely won't be around $200,000 and also 40,000 RP like I was making. But for any reason, if anyone is still having problems getting people to do these races with, I would recommend using the comment section to your advantage. So go down below in the comment section of this video, comment down below your console and also your gamer tag, and respond to other people's comments to link up with each other and play these races. Anyway though, that is now going to bring us to the end of today's video. You now know the best way to be leveling up this week in GTA 5 Online by taking advantage of the 4 times money and 4 times RP open wheel races this week that will be ending on May 8th. So make sure you take advantage of these races as much as possible, since now you know the best way to do them and come in those high positions every single time. If you went on to enjoy and you still haven't already, please do me a favor by going down below and dropping a like on the video before you click off. And until next time, I will see you all in my very next GTA 5 Online video. Peace.